My name is Gloria J. Hunt Keith. I am Black History. I was born May 28, 1952, in the Clay Hills of Alabama, a little town called Talladega. You may know it for its racing or its racetracks. At the same time, or the same year that I was born, there was a man over in Seattle, Washington, who was creating, developing, producing, and implementing a program that will help change the world as in overcoming oppression in its many stages: racism, classism, adultism, polytheism, sexism, and other isms you may come to know. Harvey Jackins is a man who God gave a vision to, and actually started with a support group to make this happen, to make his vision happen and come true. I became a part or participant in Harvey Jackins' crusade to end oppression, the slavery, the racism, the classism, the sexism, the adultism, which we really don't talk about. It's an abuse upon children, and there are many ways that a parent can abuse a child, and it is significant in all forms because that child will grow up with these memories. I too received a vision that God gave to me in 1979. I was married, and of course I had to bring the matter up with my husband, who agreed that we should follow to make this vision happen, no matter where we had to go in order to implement it, because the vision of educating our children and other children like them was very necessary as it is today. There is still a battle as far as educating excellently the Black child. When my family and I, my immediate family and I, came to Panama City, Florida, we established an organization, a nonprofit organization called Action Speaks Leadership Development Center. The Action Speaks Leadership Development Center developed out of our efforts to reach various sections of the Black population adequately and to enhance the development of leadership or Black leadership. It has correctly been estimated to be a major development in both leadership and in organization. For instance, Panama City's first Black city commissioner was chosen after I had been offered the position of being the first Black person to become a part of the White Council or the commissioners in Panama City, Florida. And of course, I delegated that position to a young Black male, Timothy Brooks. And of course, Tim served and moved on to where we now have we had Jonathan Wilson. He has been replaced by Mr. Brown now in 2014. But let me tell you more about the research and study of Black history in Bay County. A lot of things happened in the year, more progress was done with Blacks in Bay County in 1983. The crime rate went down, and several other things happened. We put together a committee, a leadership committee, to actually be the catalyst for all the federal dollars and other dollars that were coming into the Black community to help the Black community to change for the good. And during that same time in 1983, I was being challenged, or as a parent, which is a whole thing. I'm a parent first, and becoming a parent, it was necessary for me to become an advocate, to become a doctor at times, nurse, and I had to wear many other hats in order to push or to move up with our children, and not have any blockage whatsoever that couldn't be moved in the pathway of our children gaining an excellent education and others like them. Action Speaks moved moved along in progress to be Action Speaks Excellence Education. It was necessary for us to use that our nonprofit incorporation, to positively and excellently educate our own children in a homeschool environment, and that works out very well. Our 3 children are, yes, comfortable in their individual environments, and prayerfully they are able to make the history, to write their own history book. Action Speaks. Well, we became, or I became, the instructor of computer classes. The year 2000, I had over 200 students, and the majority were Black students and older. Well, they were of all ages. Our purpose was to make sure that our Blacks in the community were overcoming that fear of utilizing new technology today. Also, I found that there were other underserved persons or communities. One was senior citizens, or you may call elders. I learned that as an elder, we tend to, not me per se, but we tend to run away from the computer because of the fear, or the phobia that senior citizens have of the computer. I was able to also teach a class of predominantly adult whites to master, or to learn literally the computer, and make sure that each of these pupils, 235 pupils, had the opportunity to own their first computer system, which through Action Speaks or through me, they received the full package, including the desk if they needed one. And that was worked in connection with the with the Florida State Department of Education and the governor's office. We thank God for them and for the input. There have been some international interests from, West Indies, Africa, and other pupils were interested in the Black community leadership being organized, and Action Speaks have been helpful in doing that. I'm trying to make a long story short because at other points you will hear more about I Am Black History. We, when I say we, the predominantly Black community of Panama City, Florida, Bay County, have been slow, however, to realize and implement its applications to Black leadership within the Black community itself. In many of our areas, we are still caught up in various semi-workable rigidities. And moving on, what we decided to do, or what God gave me a vision for, is to create, develop, and produce an organization, a committee, so to speak, that will take on the responsibility of being the catalyst for the monies that have been or is or are the money that is coming into Bay County for the Black community. Instead of the committee, AKIR, being the catalyst, not knowing what occurred because of several things that happened, not knowing why AKIR did not follow through on being the catalyst for money. And we know that because we see around us that there has been very little change, as you have spoken of also. The AKIR committee was treated by the community as it was the old style executive committee. Dr. Mike Colvin is in